have annual revenues well in excess of $10 billion.
At our back in terms of the quality of the business, the equity of the brand, how we're doing in China.
We see coffee shops cropping up on every corner. We see every restaurant and bakery adding an espresso program. It seems like espresso is the new gold rush, and with its massive gross margins, it seems to be a quick and easy way to get rich. Well, I own 2 coffee shops and a coffee roasting company, and today I'm going to talk to you about the reality of opening up a coffee shop, and we're going to see if it's a gold rush or is everyone chasing fool's gold, and who is really getting rich. So the first thing that seems to be enticing to people about espresso is those gross margins. We have a beverage that could cost, $1, $1.50, $2 to make an espresso or to make a latte or cappuccino, and we can sell those beverages for $3, $4, $5, $6, $7.
Kopi Luwak is the world's most expensive coffee.
And we can make that kind of money on it. I mean, it seems incredible. And then the other line of logic that brings people to this gold rush mentality, I'm gonna get rich, is that the total addressable market is absolutely massive. I mean, who doesn't drink coffee in North America or in Western Europe? I mean, everybody drinks coffee. So the logic is that we have a beverage that is extremely high margin. We have a massive market to serve it to. So let's get rich. Let's print money. We found the printing press. But there's some things you should know. And the first thing you should consider is that if your espresso program is an afterthought, meaning you have a core business and you're trying to think of ways to increase average check total, and you kind of think, let's just grab an espresso machine, and you have a staff member that worked at a coffee shop before, they're gonna run the program, nice and easy, done. We'll grab an espresso machine, grab whatever grinder, and boom, we're gonna have an espresso program. I've only seen this fail miserably, and the only people that get rich from this are the people that sell you the machine. And that's because when you haphazardly throw an espresso program into your business, you're never gonna make something that truly stands out. And my guess is that your town or city already has a great place that does coffee well. So you should only do coffee if you're prepared to invest time, effort, and money into making it proper. What does that mean? That means investing in equipment, doing your research to find out what's the best equipment for your particular situation and your particular space. That's gonna get you 50% of the way there. Because if you have the right grinders, if you have the right machines, the right maintenance schedules, by the way, these things are all very expensive, but then you at least have a shot of making something that is pretty good, or at least competitive in your town and city, so that if you already have a large amount of people walking into your store, they might actually want to buy an espresso or a latte from you. Now, the second thing to consider is footfall, and this is what I see a lot with coffee shop owners enriching landlords. Let me explain. Coffee shops, people romanticize opening coffee shops. They think about how much they enjoy visiting coffee shops, and they think they will own them. And then they will also say the scariest thing to me, which is, I think I'm just gonna be there for a couple months and then I'm gonna get out. And listen, at least in my experience, maybe you're a much better operator than me, but at least in my experience, coffee shops, all of the shops that I've opened, I've been in the store religiously for the first year to 18 months before I was able to put a team in place and build the shops beyond that. But it took me a year to 18 months to get them going, to learn the nuances of that particular market or that particular store, how to open it, how to close it. All of these things I had to learn. and then I could teach others how to do it, and we could grow beyond that. But I had to develop a market, and I had to learn all of these things first. So if you think that you're gonna open up a coffee shop, you're gonna go in there for 3 months, and then all of a sudden it's just gonna be this thing that prints money, I would say it's probably not gonna happen, especially not your first one. If you have 9 other stores and you figured it out and you have systems in place, then absolutely, the 10th might be a walk in the park and it might just be a money printing machine. But that's because you have all the learnings from the previous 9. If this is your first one, I'm telling you, it's not going to be that simple. It's going to be much more complex than you think. And also, there are plenty of options for coffee in your market. So do not get overzealous and think that you are going to capture a market just because you're the first place that offers espresso. Now, the other thing that no one talks about is training your team. The best equipment in the world will not produce great coffee. I've been to stores that have the newest tech from La Marzocco, the best Malcone grinders. Everything looks like the coffee is going to be absolutely incredible. And then you have a barista behind the bar that isn't trained properly or simply doesn't care, and what you get is a terrible cup of coffee. No matter how much you spend on equipment, the end result will be how that barista presents that coffee to you, how they prepare it, how they present it to you. Also, customer service is outside the scope of this video, but you do also want someone who's genuinely happy to be there and excited about what they're doing. So, I say this not to discourage anyone from opening up a coffee shop. I don't want you to be discouraged. I took a risk, opened up a shop myself. I put all of my savings on the line to do it. It was extremely scary, okay? And, 5 years later, we have the roastery, we have another store, we're working on a 3rd store, things are going well. But I don't want you to think that it was simple, or I don't want you to think that I didn't work very hard, and that you will probably have to work very hard as well. And there was a lot I needed to learn. The other thing, lastly, guys, please, 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 do your numbers before you sign a lease. I have seen coffee shop owners who have used our product sign leases where once you do a simple break-even analysis, these people would need to sell 10 times more coffee than the market would ever even allow them to sell if they captured the whole market. You cannot sign a lease and think, oh, okay, I'll just figure out how to pay this. Remember, you're selling a beverage that is $5 to $7. So how are you going to pay the rent? Do quick math. Okay, if my rent is $5,000 a month and my average check total is $10, that means we need 500 people. And that might not be doable in your particular location. To get 500 people a month sounds easy, but if you don't have a great product, if there's other competitors nearby, you have to think about all of this. So once again, this video wasn't to discourage anybody, but just to be aware that this is not a gold rush. And just like the actual gold rush in California in the 1800s, be aware of who's actually making the money. You could be enriching your landlords, you could be enriching all the people selling you all this equipment you don't need. So just be very aware of who's actually making money in this espresso gold rush. And if you do decide to open up a store after this video, I still wish you all the best, and I hope that you are successful and you can tell your story. Once again, I'm not trying to discourage anyone from doing it. I just want you to know it's a lot harder than everyone thinks.